Everyone thinks they know the Little Mermaid. Red hair, singing crabs, a sea witch who loses. Easy. But the original story was never meant to be easy, and the Soviet version did not even try to make you comfortable. Today we are looking at 3 versions of the same story. Same bones, totally different psychology. One is a dream about getting what you want, one is a meditation on suffering and transcendence, and one is a cold warning about knowing your place. Let me promise you something right now. This is not just about a darker ending. This is about what each version thinks you should want out of life, what each version believes about desire, about sacrifice, about whether wanting more is brave or dangerous. Just so you know, this gets really weird by the end of it. 3 versions, 3 eras, 3 psychologies. Let us line them up. Hans Christian Andersen in 1837. A Danish author writing during the Romantic era when stories were meant to teach lessons about the soul. The Soviet animated short Rusalochka from 1968, made by Soyuz Multfilm during the height of the Cold War when stories carried ideological weight whether they meant to or not. And Disney in 1989, the dawn of the Disney Renaissance when stories were meant to sell hope and merchandise in equal measure. Same Mermaid. 3 totally different destinies, and 3 completely different answers to the question every human being asks. What happens when you want something you were never supposed to have? Andersen's Mermaid, The Seeker. This is not a love story the way we think of love today. It is about a mermaid who wants something humans have that she does not, an immortal soul. In Andersen's world, mermaids live for 300 years. They dance in underwater palaces. They sing songs more beautiful than any human voice. But when they die, they turn into sea foam. No heaven, no afterlife, no memory, just gone. Humans, on the other hand, live short, brutal lives, but they have souls that live forever. So when the Little Mermaid saves the prince from drowning, she does not just fall in love. She sees a path to something eternal. This is crucial to understand. Andersen's Mermaid is not chasing a boy. She is chasing meaning. She believes that if a human truly loves her and marries her, then part of his soul will flow into her. That is the deal as she understands it. This is not romance. This is a spiritual transaction. Love is not the prize, Gene. Love is the price. Disney's Ariel, the Rebel. Disney does not frame it that way at all. Disney Ariel wants freedom. She wants adventure. She wants the human world because it looks shiny and exciting. The same like when you were a kid staring at the grown-up table thinking everything there must be better. Part of your world is not a song about souls. It is a song about stuff. Ariel's motivation is curiosity plus attraction plus teenage rebellion. She wants Prince Eric, yes, but she also wants to know what fire is, what dancing feels like, what happens up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun. It is romance plus rebellion plus music, very catchy music, and you are supposed to cheer. The Soviet Mermaid, the Victim. The Soviet version sits somewhere in between but leans darker. Rusalochka follows the tragic outline of Andersen much closer. The pain, the silence, the doomed love. But it adds something Andersen never included, a framing device that changes everything. The film does not even start underwater. It starts in Copenhagen, with tourists. A human guide shows them the famous Little Mermaid statue at Langelinie. Then the camera goes under the water, and a fish begins telling the story. So right away the film is saying something. Humans are visitors to this tale. This story already ended, and you are hearing it secondhand from creatures who watched it happen. Disney opens with color and music and an invitation to dream. The Soviet film opens with distance, with tragedy already complete, like it is asking you, why do humans keep telling this story wrong? The deal, what each version asks you to sacrifice. In Disney, the Sea Witch takes Ariel's voice. It is scary but playful, big gestures, purple smoke, villain song. Ursula is having the time of her life, and the deal has an escape clause, 3 days to get a kiss. fail and you belong to Ursula. But succeed and you keep everything. It is a gamble, a risk, a teenage bet that pays off because this is Disney and bets pay off for protagonists. In Andersen, the sea witch is not playful at all. She tells the mermaid that the potion will feel like a sword passing through her body. She says every step on land will feel like walking on sharp knives, and if the prince does not love her back, she will die the morning after he marries another woman, not metaphorically, but literally. And the price for the potion? Her tongue is cut out. Her voice is gone forever. No singing, no explaining, no begging. This is body horror written in the 1800s. The Soviet version keeps this pain. In Rusalashka, the transformation is agony. She loses her voice, and walking causes her visible suffering. There is no makeover montage, no sparkle moment, just a girl who traded everything for a chance. The prince, hero or accident? In Disney, Prince Eric is a hero. He listens, he learns, he falls in love with the right girl eventually. He fights the sea witch, he chooses Ariel, he earns the happy ending alongside her. In Andersen, the prince is not evil, but he does not understand. He likes the mermaid. He cares about her. He calls her his little foundling. He lets her sleep on a velvet cushion outside his door like a favorite pet, but he does not know she saved him. Another woman from a nearby temple is present when he wakes up on the beach, and he believes she is the one who rescued him. Later, he marries her, not out of cruelty, out of misunderstanding. The Soviet version follows this closely. The prince is found by women from a convent. A woman similar in appearance to the mermaid becomes linked to his rescue in his memory. He marries her. In two of these three versions, the prince is not a soulmate. He is an accident, a man who never knew what he was being offered and never knew what his choice would cost. Find the endings, where psychology becomes philosophy. Disney ending first. We all know it. Big battle. Ursula loses. Triton sees how much his daughter loves this human. He changes Ariel into a human permanently. Wedding, fireworks, happily ever after. The message is clear. Follow your heart. Defy authority if you must. True love wins. Parents eventually understand. The Andersen ending? The prince marries another woman. The mermaid is given a final choice. Her sisters rise from the sea with shorn heads. They sold their hair to the sea witch for a dagger. If the mermaid kills the prince before dawn and lets his blood drip on her feet, she can return to the sea and live out her 300 years. She holds the knife. She looks at him sleeping beside his new bride. She cannot do it. She throws the dagger into the waves. She leaps from the ship and her body dissolves into foam. But that is not the end. She becomes a daughter of the air, a spirit who can earn a soul through 300 years of good deeds. Every time she finds a good child, she can shorten her sentence by 1 year. It is tragic, but it is also hopeful in a quiet religious way. Goodness matters. Suffering is not wasted. The soul she wanted can still be earned, just not the way she expected. Now, the Soviet ending. This is where people get shocked. The sea hag gives her a magic shell. If she uses it, she can destroy the prince and his bride and save herself. She refuses. She drops the shell. A massive wave rises. She dies. Then the film does something neither Disney nor Andersen does. It splits the meaning in two. The fish narrator speaks first. The story is a warning. Know your place. Do not cross worlds. Stay where you belong. Then the human guide speaks. The story is beautiful, tragic, a testament to the power of love and sacrifice. The film ends without choosing between them. Disney gives you a wedding and says dream big. Andersen gives you theology and says suffering has meaning. The Soviets give you an argument and say figure it out yourself. Why Disney removed God from the story and how that changes everything. This part is easy to miss, but it changes the ending completely. Andersen's story is deeply religious, not in a preachy way, but in how the universe works. In his world, humans have souls. Mermaids do not. That is not symbolism. That is the rule of reality in the story. The Little Mermaid wants a soul more than anything. Love is not the final goal, eternity is. When she fails to marry the prince, she does not just lose him, she loses her chance at heaven. But then Andersen gives her another path. She becomes a daughter of the air. She can earn a soul slowly through good deeds. Suffering does not guarantee reward, but goodness still matters. Disney removes all of that. There is no soul problem, no heaven, no moral accounting system. Instead, the story runs on feelings. If Ariel wants it badly enough, and if her heart is true, things work out. The universe rewards courage, not patience. The Soviet version removes God too, but it replaces him with judgment, not divine judgment, social judgment. The fish narrator treats the story like a lesson. Crossing boundaries leads to disaster. Know your place. The human guide treats it like tragic beauty. No reward, no punishment, just loss. So you end up with three philosophies. Andersen says be good. Disney says be brave. The Soviet film says be careful. None of them are neutral. They just teach different survival rules. The father figure problem. Why Triton is a villain in one version and a warning sign in another? Well, in the Disney version, King Triton is easy to understand. He is loud, he is angry, he breaks things. And at first, the movie wants you to think he is wrong. He tells Ariel not to go to the surface, not to talk to humans, and not to dream about that world. And Ariel does what every movie hero does. She rebels. By the end, Triton learns his lesson. He lets her go. The story rewards Ariel for disobeying him. So the message is clear. Parents are obstacles. Freedom comes from breaking rules. That feels good, especially when you are young. The same like when you think adults are just blocking your fun for no reason. But Andersen does something very different. In the original story, the Sea King is not a villain. He is not redeemed either. He just exists. He does not scream. He does not learn. He does not change. Authority in Andersen world is not something you defeat. It is something you live under. The Little Mermaid is not punished because her father is cruel. She is punished because the world has rules. The Soviet version goes even colder. There is no warm father figure to argue with. The sea is not a parent, it is a system. It does not hate the mermaid, it does not love her, it simply does not bend. This makes the story feel harsh, but also honest. Disney tells kids that if you push hard enough, the world will change for you. Andersen in the Soviet film whisper something scarier. Sometimes the world does not care how much you want something. And that difference quietly changes the entire story. What each version says about crossing worlds. Let's now look at class, social order, and identity. On the surface, this is a fantasy story. Mermaid meets human. Different worlds collide. But under that, every version is asking the same question. Should you cross the line? In Andersen, crossing worlds is dangerous. It causes pain. It costs everything. The Little Mermaid is never fully human. She never fully belongs. In the Soviet version, crossing worlds is a violation, an imbalance. The sea and land are separate for a reason. Breaking that order leads to tragedy. Disney flips this completely. Crossing worlds is the dream. The human world is exciting. The sea world is limiting. Moving upward is framed as growth. This is not just fantasy. It mirrors real-life ideas. One story says, stay where you are. One says leaving will hurt you. One says leaving will save you. That is why the endings feel so different. The same story skeleton. 3 beliefs about how life works. And that is why The Little Mermaid never stops being retold. Because every generation answers the same question differently. Is the world meant to be challenged, endured, or escaped? And depending on which version you grew up with, your answer might already be set. What each version really tells you. Here is the psychology underneath all 3. Disney believes you deserve to get what you want. That desire is good. That rebellion against limits is heroic. That the universe will reward you for following your heart. This is an optimistic psychology. It builds confident children who believe in themselves. Andersen believes desire has consequences, that you may suffer for what you want and still not get it. But that suffering itself can be transformed into something holy if you choose grace over revenge. This is a redemptive psychology. It builds resilient adults who can find meaning in loss. The Soviet version believes the world is divided. Some voices will tell you to stay in your lane. Other voices will romanticize your pain, and you must decide which voice to trust. This is a critical psychology. It builds thinkers who question the stories they are told. Why this matters. Fairy tales are not just stories, they are lessons dressed up for children. Every generation edits the same bones to teach a different truth. Disney wanted hope, Andersen wanted meaning. The Soviet version wanted you to think. So now I ask you, which ending feels more honest? Drop a comment if you want me to cover the dark meanings behind other famous stories.